What is up, guys? Speeds here, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 most buffed heroes of 7.27b. These are heroes you obviously should be picking in your pubs because they are doing incredibly well. And honestly, I will admit, guys, probably even saw me comment it on the last video, I expected certain heroes in this patch to be having a much better time than they actually are. A couple examples, Bloodseeker and Razor. However, I do think that people are likely misskilling both of them, which is hurting the win rates more than they should be. Right? People are not adapting to the new changes, which is making them struggle, right? While other heroes, they haven't been changed, but rather just buffed. Now, a hero like Razor and Bloodseeker have been changed, therefore they need to be adapted to, and therefore people are struggling because adaptation is very difficult. But nonetheless, let's get into the top 5 heroes of this patch. Absolutely smash the like button for my British accent that I think is fantastic. And most importantly, guys, summer sale going on right now for the GAMELEAP website. 50% off for a whole plethora of content that I'm making. We have other creators on the job as well, trying to provide you guys with top tier videos that are going to teach you about the game of Dota on a very advanced level, so that you can get to the next level, right? Because that's how you carry games. You learn information that is on the next level, you apply it, you rinse, repeat, and as long as you have the correct information, which you'll get for 50% off by clicking the link down below and using the discount code, you're gonna get all that information and be able to apply it and start winning today. Alright, so let's start off with the 5th most buffed hero. And the only hero that I'll be skipping in terms of like, I probably should put it on this list, but I won't be, is Warden. Frankly, I don't know what I'm missing, but I'm reading the patch notes, and I'm like, how is Warden even buffed? The hero got 1 armor, okay, good, okay, you know, that's fair. He got 1 more agility and 0.1 agility gain, which is basically nothing, right? It's quite mediocre. Spark Wraith was reduced, so that's a nerf, not even a buff. He has plus 350 flux cast range at level 10, which is mediocre. I guess if people are maxing Q, it's better. And that's like one theory I have, which is people are maxing Flux and then taking the Flux cast range at 10, maybe, which is okay. And then at level 15, he got some talent changes where he now has 15% CDR, which is a lot, and 50 attack speed. However, he lost his 30 attack speed level 10 talent, which in my opinion is the best talent out of all 4 of these. Well, 5. And so, yeah, I don't get it. It's something I'll be paying attention to. I'll get back to you guys. But yeah, let's start with what I think is more realistically the number 5 most buffed hero, which is NAGA SIREN. Alright, so NAGA SIREN's movement speed increased by 10, which is huge. And this is something I want to briefly discuss on the channel. Movement speed is one of the most important things in Dota for a plethora of reasons. It lets you disengage, it lets you take less damage in the laning stage because you don't get right-clicked as much, it lets you deal significantly more damage, not slightly more damage. If you are good at attack moving, 10 movement speed can be 2 or 3 more auto attacks. I'm serious about that. It really can be the difference between getting the kill nod. So it lets you do more damage, take less damage, farm faster. It really is so important to have movement speed, which is why you always basically buy boots as a first or second item, right? I mean, if you're even counting stats. You know what I mean, guys? So whenever you see something like 10 movement speed, you might disregard it, be like, ah, whatever. No, 10 is a lot. It's the same reason why Sven, who's not on this list, but is actually a very buffed hero and pretty strong, is up 3%, right? Sven is up 3%. He got 10 movement speed, which is huge. It lets him get kited less in the lane. The mid game, he farms faster. It's a big deal, and Naga got this as well, going up by 10. On top of that, the ensnare cast point was reduced from 0.6 to 0.5. And finally, her Song of the Siren Scepter upgrade now also reduces the cooldown by 20, which is better if you happen to buy Scepter. Do I think you will most games? No, I don't think this is the biggest change. The biggest change out of all of them is by far the movement speed. And you might be saying, speed, come on, 10 movement speed, is that really a 4% increase? I'm thinking about, and I'll get back to you guys if I get more information about why there's, you know, what are other reasons why she's doing well, but I really do believe that is the primary reason. And you might be saying, oh, speed, are there other examples of this? Well, that's exactly what I'm here to show you today. The other example of movement speed being a big buff is TERRORBLADE, right? So TERRORBLADE, what happened was well, you could say, well, he got nerfed to movement speed for his level 10 talent. Yeah, his level 10 talent, instead of 20 movement speed, is now 15, which is not great, but you can still take 16 evasion, which is pretty good too. They're both solid talents. But the movement speed change here for TERRORBLADE is that Metamorphosis no longer reduces your movement speed. And if I'm not mistaken, it was like 25 or 30. You guys could correct me on that in the comment section down below. Sometimes I struggle with exact numbers, but it's one of those things where that's a big deal. One of the biggest weaknesses of Terrorblade as a hero is his ability to be kited. Same thing with Sven. If you kited out their big spells, such as God Strength and Metamorphosis, they become relatively useless, and therefore, they would be bad in that regard. So giving them movement speed radically changes them. And yeah, so Naga comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Storm Spirit, who, to be clear, is still a 49% win rate pub hero. So technically, if you're a bad Storm Spirit, you will likely lose. I think if you're a bad Storm Spirit or you're new to the hero, your win rate will more so be around 40 to 45%. Hearing that should obviously convince a lot of you to not just pick this hero and go into ranked. I don't care if you have 5 matches either. This is a hero you need to play for 20-25 matches to really build up a feel, right? It's a very feel-based hero. You know, being able to manage your mana and overload charges and all your low cooldown spells is difficult, and therefore, just keep that in mind. But still, it's number 4 on this list. 3.70% win rate after the change, which is huge, right? It's absolutely huge, and he got 0.2 on agility gain, which is good for Storm. You know, the hero is a right-clicker after all, so a little bit of agility can never hurt. But most importantly, we have the change of Ball Lightning travel cost per 100 units was reduced from 12 plus 0.7 to 10 plus 0.65. And obviously, Storm Spirit's major thing is being able to conserve mana, zip around the map, and so yeah, this is a pretty big buff that caused the hero to go up 3.7%. Getting into number 3, we have Broodmother, and this hero went from a 48% win rate to a 52% win rate. Very, very noticeable. A 4% increase is pretty dang good. Now, I do think it's important to obviously note that Broodmother still is a generally situational pick, but let's read off the changes to make sure you guys understand why this hero is so good. Well, I'm not going to say most importantly, but notably, Broodmother, her agility gain was increased by 2.8 to 3.2. An agility hero got a 0.4 agility gain increase. Storm Spirit and End hero got a 0.2. Right? Think about that. That's a really big deal for a hero like Brood, who especially scales very well with levels. So this is going to add up. It's going to give you, a bit of extra attack speed, some more damage, which definitely matters, especially for, her ultimate. Incapacitating Bite, also, the slow was increased. Not by a ton, but 4% at all levels. It matters. It's one of those things that, hey, it matters. And finally, actually most notably, we have the Spawn Spiderling's health increased from 280 to 320, which basically makes it a little bit harder to kill them with right clicks, so it's better against some of the notable Brood counters such as Monkey King and Tiny, right? Definitely can hurt. However, the Spawn Spiderling's magical resistance was reduced from 40% to 25%, so they're better against physical damage, but worse against magical. Just keep that in mind. Like, your Spiderlings are still going to die to 2 nukes, like two large nukes, but physical damage, they are a little bit better against. Coming in at number 2, we have CLINKZ, and I think there is no doubt in anyone's mind that this hero at least has potential. And yes, not only does he have potential, he's being picked 9% more. 9% more. Warden, after the patch, or this week, has been picked 0.87% more. I mean, who cares about, Warden anyway? Who cares at all? But we got CLINKZ, right? So CLINKZ is picked 9% more and has gone up 5.71% win rate this week, getting him to a 56.1% win rate. This hero is shredding right now. So many notable changes we need to talk about. Intelligence gain increased by 0.5. Like, that's the biggest one we've read so far, right? 0.5. His attack point was improved from 0.7 to 0.4. Right? So he's just a little bit better at getting each of those auto attacks off. Has less of a backswing. That huge CLINKZ backswing that we have all come to just know and hate. On top of that, Searing Arrow's damage was increased by 5 at all levels. The mana cost was increased, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Having 5 extra damage is a fair trade for 3 mana each time, considering the mana went up anyway from 9 to 12 over time in the last patch. Strafe is a basic ability again, right? So now CLINKZ has Strafe again. And I think this is much, much easier to use than Skeleton Walk. The old Skeleton Walk was clunky, while if you knew what you were doing on CLINKZ, it was very potent and quite useful, right? We saw players like Crit playing, I think he had like 271 games on the hero, destroying on CLINKZ, especially CLINKZ 4, destroying people. It's a clunky spell if you're not Crit, right? Or you're unsure how to play the hero. It just was weird. You'd have to come out of Invis to use it. Now, you can actually stay in Invis for every single spell you use, which is cool. If you Skeleton Walk and you pop your Burning Army, you pop your Death Pact, well, if you have Burning Army when you have Axe, or you pop your Death Pact or your Strafe, you actually stay Invis, which makes it a lot easier to set everything up, right? A lot easier to set everything up. So let's say you have an Orchid and you're Invis and you need to click all your buttons, you can Skeleton Walk up, Strafe, and then Orchid to catch someone off guard. But now let's keep going with the abilities. Skeleton Walk is now just movement speed and invisibility. Death Pact is back to the ultimate. It was actually quite good in the lane. And one thing I would note, and that I want to say to everyone that is a bit more advanced in my opinion, but when I look at Dota buff statistics, I'm generally looking at the statistics for like 0 to 4 or 5 KMR average games. The reason why I say that is that is obviously the large majority of Dota games. It covers 5,000 MMR points, so I'd hope so. But most importantly, the reason why I say that is, you know, there's a different meta, or there's a different way that the games are played out, or what has a favored advantage in these games. And what I would say is generally favored is heroes that either don't die easily or scale a little bit better. So when a hero like CLINKZ gets a change like this that I think favors him as the game goes on, then it becomes a buff, right? So his Q, his new Strafe, it gives him 100% evasion against ranged heroes. Late game, that's insane against certain heroes. It's ridiculous. You just completely dodge all of Drow's right clicks? That's insane, right? Same thing with like against a Dusa or a Venge or a Luna or a TA. They just can't hit you, which is great for the late game. Searing Arrows change, a little bit better for the late game. The Intelligence game, better for the late game. This Death Pact, the new Death Pact, it just gives him a percentage of damage and health of whatever he eats. It is better from what I've seen for late game, because it's percentage based, right? Where the other change was just a set health, right? The old Death Pact was what, 250, 350, 450, 550. This is now a percentage. It's ridiculous how much health you can get. It can be over 2,000 if you eat like certain Helm Dom creeps, which is pretty dang ridiculous. And so yeah, CLINKZ scales very well. He also had a ton of talent changes. I'm not going to read them for this video, just to save a little bit of your guys' time. Just note that they were pretty dang good changes. They help him out quite a lot. And so yeah, CLINKZ seemingly very strong right now. What do I recommend you go? Just sort of a stats, Dragonlance, Deso build. If there's anything else I see, I'll let you guys know. Helm Dom might be okay, but let's get into the last hero. And number 1 on the list is Underlord. The hero has a 60% win rate. Well, it's 59.63, but you guys get the point. His win rate is up 7.60%. That's ridiculous. It's legitimately ridiculous. I mean, this hero was already, in my opinion, and I've been saying it for a lot of videos, a pub stomper in low MR games. What is the reason? Very reliable laning stage, buys auras, doesn't get bursted, doesn't overextend. It's just good for pubs, and it incentivizes you to farm with your Q, right? So it's a really, really good pub hero for absolutely any player, even high MMR games. It's pretty dang good. Now let's actually look at the changes, which were frankly very much in Underlord's favor. So his attack range was increased by 25. Is that a big deal or not? Yes, absolutely. Underlord hits really hard. Being able to get that 1 extra attack off or not having to overextend for a CS or a deny is going to save you HP and let you deal more damage. That matters a lot. Might not realize it, but it matters a lot. Atrophy Aura no longer provides permanent bonus damage, but honestly, it didn't really matter that much. Was it bad? No, but this new change is pretty dang strong. Your Atrophy Aura is worse at level 1, so instead of being 5 flat per creep that dies around you, it's now 4, but it goes 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you max this out in the laning stage, which frankly I don't even think is that bad, it makes it impossible for your enemy to last it, considering your damage skyrockets and theirs just plummets. It goes all the way up to 7 per creep, and Atrophy Aura damage duration was increased, right? So if you max it out, you just have this plus 7 per creep for 75 seconds. That is so good for doing damage, sieging, farming. It is incredible. Maxing out this Atrophy Aura with the Q is better than ever. Please don't max the Pit of Malice. Just leave it at level 1 and you're gonna shred. It's so strong. On top of that, that's not it. You're like, oh, speed, that's good enough. I see why he's buffed a lot. Nah. Firestorm, cast point reduced. So now Firestorm, it uses it quicker. Firestorm AoE. For every point you put in, it gets 30 more radius, right? 30 more AoE. That's great. It is so much better in teamfights. It covers such a larger area. It's better for farming. It's better for everything. It's just better. And Firestorm debuff no longer ignores Ancients. it still ignores Roshan, but basically, all of a sudden, Underlord can kill Ancients. Yes, he can kill Ancients. That's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous, because this hero can farm Ancients, by the way, guys. If you have a Vanguard, or just like some phase boots and a little bit of HP regen, or whatever, you can farm the Ancients. It's totally possible if you have some built up damage from creeps. And finally, because that's not all, it's ridiculous, but that's not all. Pit of Malice cooldown was reduced from 22 to 18 at level 1, which is huge. That's 4 seconds less at level 1, and then it goes down by 1. However, at max, it's 15 instead of 16. At level 1, it's 18 instead of 22. Really dang good. He got a bunch of talent changes too, and yeah, they're good talent changes. The first one is 20 movement speed to 5 armor. Honestly, I think the 20 movement speed is a bit of a nerf. I like having 20 movement speed on Underlord is really, really good. Believe it or not, like being able to catch up to people with your right clicks is a big deal. So I liked going phase boots and 20 movement speed talent, but 5 armor isn't bad. Or you can take 12% magic resist. So depending on the enemy team comp, you can basically make yourself even tankier. Wow! And finally, the level 15 talent was changed from atrophy permanent damage, because that's no longer a thing, to 3 seconds Firestorm cooldown. 3 seconds! That's a lot of seconds, considering it's already a 12-second cooldown, and they buffed it. And you get 3 seconds off. That is so good. That is so good, right? 3 seconds Firestorm cooldown is fantastic. Also, your other option at level 15 now, instead of cast range, which wasn't bad but wasn't needed on Underlord, like it was okay, but it wasn't needed, is 100 Pit of Malice AoE. 100! 100! Like, that's insane. In fact, I'm going to quickly show it to you guys in a demo, just so you can see the difference, and then we'll end off the video there. So as we hop in here, I'm going to take a point into my Pit of Malice, and you will see that it can cover from about the left side of this hill to the first tree if I put it in the middle, right? Then, if I level up, let's not level up to max, let's not go too crazy, but if I level up and take my Pit of Malice AoE, and I put it down again, look at this AoE, right? Look at this AoE, that is huge! That is huge! It fits the entire river of mid lane. Imagine taking a mid fight against this thing. How do you even get past that? Like, that's insane. It's impossible. You can't get through this. On top of that, like, look at the difference between level 1 Firestorm. So this is level 1 Firestorm. It basically covers just about the mid lane, right? Not too bad. It's like about the full mid lane. Then if we max it out, all of a sudden it gets quite a bit bigger. Right now it reaches from like this edge, right about here, to this edge. Instead of just being from here to here, it's like here to here. It's just huge, right? It's everything just went in Underlord's favor. I don't know why. I guess Valve was just like, yeah, it's time for Underlord to be that guy again. But hey, if you're an offlane player or a mid player, consider Underlord. Yes, I said it, mid lane Underlord, in my opinion, is quite dang legit. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, do you also want more content from me and other GameLeap creators that are gonna help you get to the next rank easily? Well, 50% off right now is the deal we can offer. Alright, 50% off. As long as you click the link down below, you're gonna get that part of our summer sale. Right, just go over there. You're gonna see the 50% off. Sign up. It's an incredible deal. I've been putting in more work than ever on this website. I think the content is going to help you guys get to the next level faster than ever. And yeah, I hope to see you there. If you're unsure about it, hey, message me on Discord, say, Speed, why should I sign up for the GameLeap website? I swear I know a lot of you guys just troll me about this, but nah, ask me, I'll talk to you. Go sign up for the website. It's a blast, and we're going to have a good time this summer.